Hey there, Dustin and Nameco here. This is our bi-weekly baseball show. Before we get into it, all of our football stuff is currently in the works, so be sure to check it out. It's coming out soon, and also don't forget the forums, and we will have a pick'em and a survivor contest on our site this year for football. But let's start out with one of our favorite segments.
Buy low.
Sell high.
Oh, that's so bad. All right, sell high, guys. We'll start with first guy's Ty Wigginton. The guy's been playing really great lately. We didn't want to put him in our waiver wire portion of the show, so we thought, hey, why not throw him into the sell high aspect of it? If you can get anything for him right now, go ahead and do it. I know he's got great position eligibility, but just this guy's numbers, just don't believe what he's done in the last couple of weeks. He's not going to keep it up. If you can get anything for him, do it.
Our next sell high guy is Cliff Lee. I know what you're thinking. What are these donkeys talking about? But here's the deal. If you can get like elite first round talent for Cliff Lee at this point, go ahead and do it. He's been on a tear. He's not going to keep up this crazy hot streak for the whole season. Try to get someone very stellar for him.
Next, we got Johnny Peralta. He's been playing really well. I know he's at a tough position to fill at shortstop. But, more than likely he wasn't drafted in your league, so if you're one of the people that maybe has a Tulo and a Peralta, it's a great time to try to trade Peralta right now. We don't see him keeping this pace up. The guy's been playing pretty amazing.
Next, we got Curtis Granderson. Guy's been playing out of his mind, but he is starting to slip a little bit. So now's the time to deal him if you can. If you can get some idiot in your league to really respect him for what he's done thus far in the season, you should go ahead and deal him. I've been trying in my leagues. It ain't working, but if you can yours, more power to you. You want Granderson?
Some Yankees fan will take him off.
Yeah, hopefully. We got none in our league. It's terrible.
Time for some buy lows. The first one is Tim Lincecum. He just hasn't been himself so far this year. Not quite getting it going just yet, but we fully expect him to turn around. If you need a starting pitcher, looking for someone to buy low, we fully expect him to turn it around.
Next, we got Felix Hernandez. He went off to a little bit of a slow start last year. Slow start again this year. He is an elite pitcher. Grab him now before he turns it on, because when he does, the owner's certainly going to hold on to him.
Next, we got Hanley Ramirez. Obviously a big disappointment for all those people that drafted him over Tulowitzki. Tried to tell you. But, he'll get healthy. The All-Star break might help him, and he's going to get things going. It's Hanley Ramirez. If you can get him cheap now, definitely do it.
And last, we got Zimmerman for the Nationals. He came off the injury, and he hasn't really got his bat going quite yet, but this guy's a great hitter. He's going to get the average up. Buy him now when you can. All right, before we get into that waiver wire, we got a form question from JXR29. He's in a dynasty league, and I think he already did this trade, but let's just pretend he didn't. For argument's sake, he wants to know if he should be dealing Pineda and getting Granderson and my boy Drew Stubbs in return.
This one's tough because I feel the Dynasty League aspect of this trade really plays a factor. This year, if you needed outfield help and you could afford to get a starting pitcher, no-brainer, great trade. But long-term, Pineda could be definitely the real deal and could be a top 5 starting pitcher from here on out. Who knows? He definitely has that potential, though. It's a lot harder to find that ace starting pitcher than it is to find top 15 outfielder. So long-term, you might lose this one, but short-term, if you needed the outfield help, not a bad trade.
Yeah, it's a fair trade, tough trade. All right, Dustin, now we can start talking about the waiver wire and talk about your man crush of the day, the week, the year, and certainly of this month at least.
Ruby De La Rosa. I know we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Then he had a couple of bad starts right after. He was still striking people out, but he did just come off of his best start of the year. 7 innings, only 1 earned run. Unfortunately, he got the loss, but fortunately it was against the Twins, which was nice. But I really do believe in this guy. I think he's got amazing stuff. Honestly, he belongs in the closer role, but I really, truly believe in him.
All right. He's 5% owned. He's probably available in your league. If you want to trust Dustin, grab him. Next, we're going to talk about one of Dustin's boys, Scott Baker with the Twins. He's owned in about 60% of leagues right now. He's on one of his hot streaks, and he is a streaky pitcher. So if you're looking for somebody to add for the short term, at least you want to ride out this hot streak with Scott Baker.
Moving on, we got Bastardo for the Phillies. He's filling in for Madsen, who's on the DL right now. Lidge is still out. Bastardo's got a really good shot right here to hold on to this job, I feel. He's been pitching amazing all year. If he pitches well, it might be hard to take that job away from him.
All right, next we got a guy that's got to be owned in more leagues, and that's Beachy out there with the Braves, 60% of leagues. He came off his injury, and in his last 12 innings, he has 20 Ks.
It's pretty nuts.
If he's available in your league, you're going to want to grab him.
Moving on, we got a second baseman for you in Jamal Weeks out there in Oakland, only on about 30% of leagues. It's not too shabby when you get a second baseman that can get you some bags and bat for average. He's not going to give you a ton of power, but 6 stolen bases in the last 47 at bats, not too shabby.
All right, and the last guy we're going to talk about is Jason Bay. Now, with regards to Bay, there's a fun little stat about him that actually Dustin found. He's kind of a big fan, but it's actually pretty cool. In his first 150 bats this season, he's had 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. In his last 50 at-bats, he's had 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. So almost doubling his power stats. And we're not saying that Jason Bay is going to set the world on fire, but if you don't want to take, kind of a younger guy right now and you want a more solid type of player for your outfield to, really gamble on, Jason Bay, you could do a lot worse than him.
All right, let's take a look at some guys in deeper leagues. First guy, Vance Worley for the Phillies. He's only on about 10% of leagues right now. If he was on any other team, he would have been in their starting rotation all year, but it's really hard to crack into that Phillies rotation. But he might be here to stay. He just got called up recently. He's had 2 starts, and he's had 11 innings pitched in those 2 starts, only 1 earned run. This guy's got good stuff.
All right, the next one is rest in peace, my boy Jose Tabata. He's on the DL. If you still own him, it's just time to cut your losses. The guy that's replaced him because of that is Alex Presley, obviously with the Pirates. Now, he's only played 1 game, but he's hit 1 home run. So we're not saying you got to go run your computer and add him right now. But again, if you're in those deeper leagues, he's certainly got to keep an eye on and possibly add him to really deep leagues.
Yeah, he's a big prospect. Moving on, another young pitcher for you, and Corey Lubecki for San Diego. He's been in the bullpen for most of the year, but they're trying him out as a starter, only on 10% of leagues. And so far, in 8.1 innings of work as a starter, he's got 12 Ks. He's got good stuff as well. Another young pitcher to at least keep an eye on and add in deeper leagues.
All right, and the last guy we're going to talk about is Chris Getz out there with the Royals. Now, he's a second base, and you know how we always love to give you a few of those eligible type players. Those hard to find. And in his last 50 at-bats, he's batting .375 with 6 bags. So if you need help at second base, you could do a lot worse.
So that's it for our bi-weekly baseball show. Like we were saying at the beginning of the show, all our football stuff is coming out soon. We're pumped about it. We can't wait. So let's get in those forums, talk baseball, football, anything you want to talk about. I'm Dustin. This is Nameco. See you in a couple weeks.